cleared it. President Donald Trump is keeping the promises he made during his political campaign. One of these promises was to keep Guantanamo Bay prison in Cuba open and fill it with criminals, unlike former President Barack Obama, who wanted to shut down the place. Attorney General Jeff Sessions visited the prison in Cuba while Trump attended the G20 summit. He was accompanied with Rod Rosenstein and Dan Coats. At the end of the visit, Sessions said that there is no reason not to send new prisoners there. Via Founding Patriot. During President Trump's showing abroad at the G20 summit, Attorney General Jeff Sessions, along with his deputy, Rod Rosenstein, and Director of National Intelligence Dan Coats, visited Guantanamo Bay prison camp at the U.S. Naval Base on the island of Cuba. Barack Obama tried to have the facility shut down. Unlike him, President Trump is a true American who cares about our nation's security and the well-being of our citizens over all else. He promised during the campaign to fill it to capacity again instead of shutting the prison down. At the end of his visit, Sessions said that the prison is a very fine place and there is no legal reason not to send new detainees there. In 2009, Obama signed an executive order to shut down the U.S. military prison at Guantanamo Bay. He signed 3 executive orders on the second day of the new administration, which showed that he was determined to get what he wanted. This is what Obama said. The message that we are sending around the world is that the United States intends to prosecute the ongoing struggle against violence and terrorism, and we are going to do so vigilantly. We are going to do so effectively, and we are going to do so in a manner that is consistent with our values and our ideals. A draft copy of the order said, in view of significant concerns raised by these detentions, both within the United States and internationally, prompt and appropriate disposition of the individuals currently detained at Guantanamo and closure of the facility would further the national security and foreign policy interests of the United States and the interests of justice. Obama's efforts didn't pay out and the prison didn't close down. He went on to leave 41 detainees who were considered the most dangerous stay in the prison. Thank God that Obama is not our president anymore. He transferred many prisoners from Gitmo to other countries. However, the prison is a fine place as indicated by Jeff Sessions, and there's no reason for its closure. Obama was caught meeting White, the Russian lawyer who was actually a spy. Look who she worked for. The left went crazy over the recent story about Trump Jr. meeting with the Russian lawyer who claimed to have dirt on Hillary Clinton. And now, a shocking new discovery has emerged. Barack Obama and his administration secretly met with Natalia Veselnitskaya, the Russian lawyer who is really a spy, but it's who she worked for that actually makes Barack look guilty. Everything is coming out now. How Obama and his administration colluded with Hillary Clinton and the Democratic National Committee, DNC, to set up the fake Russian narrative against Donald Trump. It turns out that Natalia Veselnitskaya, the Russian lawyer, in fact, is a spy who was working for the Democrats, and there is more. Natalia was Obama's personal guest at the House of Representatives hearing on U.S. policy toward Putin's Russia. Miss Natalia Veselnitskaya is captured seated in the front row right behind former U.S. Ambassador to Russia Mr. Michael McFaul at the House Foreign Affairs Committee. This is June 14, 2016. This picture is taken only 5 days after her meeting at Trump Tower with Donald Trump Jr. It should be pointed out that Ambassador McFaul publicly discussed the Mir Russia conspiracy story in the media and was broadcasted on several NBC and MSNBC shows during the 2016 campaign, and after the election. And it should also be pointed out that Ms. Natalia Veselnitskaya was initially denied an entry visa into the United States in 2016 and she appealed her situation to the U.S. District Court of New York. She later received a parole letter, allowing her to enter the United States on behalf of a client. It seems that Obama and Hillary actually wanted Natalia to enter the country. In her affidavit to enter the U.S., Natalia Veselnitskaya acknowledges that she is working for a company called Fusion GPS, a firm which, according to public reports, was retained by Democratic operatives to develop opposition research on the president and which commissioned the phony Steele dossier. Please share this post on Facebook if you think Obama and Hillary should go to prison. What is your opinion on this? Scroll down to comment below. Prince Charles delivers a stern warning to every Republican who supports Trump. Prince Charles has warned the lessons of the Second World War are in increasing danger of being forgotten. Speaking at a fundraiser for World Jewish Relief, a humanitarian agency, the Prince of Wales remembered the indescribable persecution endured by Holocaust survivor and former Olympic weightlifting champion Ben Helfgott. The Prince, who recently issued a veiled warning over the election of Donald Trump, said it was his grandmother's sheltering of a Jewish family which inspired his work with a range of faiths. The work of World Jewish Relief enables us to rally together to do what we can to support people practically, emotionally and spiritually, the royal, who was appointed patron of the charity in 2015, told a crowd of hundreds. Particularly at a time when the horrific lessons of the last war seem to be in increasing danger of being forgotten. The royal suggested Helfgott's experience of persecution served as a reminder for not overlooking history, saying, "To meet Ben, and others who, like him, have endured indescribable persecution, is to be reminded of the danger of forgetting the lessons of the past." The prince applauded the work the charity, which was established to support those fleeing Nazi Germany, did with impoverished Jews in Ukraine as well as those escaping the atrocities of Syria and Rwanda. It is about supporting local communities with what they feel they need and not about imposing solutions from outside. World Jewish Relief shows us how vital it is to learn lessons from the horrors of the past, he later added. Rafi Cooper, the charity's director of communications, told The Independent, His Royal Highness provides a timely reminder that we need to reach within and beyond our own community, regardless of faith, a message that our Jewish values and history teach us is essential to avoid the horrors of the past being repeated. The prince's reference to the horrific lessons of the last war are reported to have been viewed by some in the room as a thinly veiled criticism of Mr. Trump. The president has prompted global condemnation for his immigration ban in recent days. Last week, the billionaire property developer signed an executive order suspending the entire U.S. refugee admissions system for 120 days, halting the Syrian refugee program indefinitely, and banning entry for people from 7 Muslim-majority countries. At the end of last year, the prince issued a warning over the rise of populism in a seemingly cloaked reference to the election of Mr. Trump and the rise of the far right in Europe. Although he did not mention any politicians by name, he said there were deeply disturbing echoes of the dark days of the 1930s and evil religious persecution was occurring across the world. CIA official leaks Obama's plans to sabotage America, proves Trump was right all along. I don't like Obama as much as the next conservative, but this woman is convinced he is trying to take down America as we know it. Former CIA employee, Claire M. Lopez, was not just a pencil pusher with a desk job for our government. She was the vice president for research and analysis at the Center for Security Policy and a senior fellow at the Clarion Project, the London Centre for Policy Research, and the Canadian Meehan Institute. That's quite a resume. So when you read what she said, this can't possibly be coming from a place of craziness. It's pretty legitimate. The Conservative Post reports. Since 2013, she has served as a member of the Citizens Commission on Benghazi. Also vice president of the Intelligence Summit, she formerly was a career operations officer with the Central Intelligence Agency, a professor at the Center for Counterintelligence and Security Studies, executive director of the Iran Policy Committee from 2005 to 2006, and has served as a consultant, intelligence analyst, and researcher for a variety of defense firms. She was named a Lincoln Fellow at the Claremont Institute in 2011. Lopez said the global war on terror had been an effort to stay free of Sharia, or repressive Islamic law, until the Obama administration began siding with such jihadist groups as the Muslim Brotherhood and its affiliates. Lopez believes that the Muslim Brotherhood has thoroughly infiltrated the Obama administration and other branches of the federal government. One of the most outrageous of those appointments is Mohammed Al-Libiri, a senior member of the Department of Homeland Security Advisory Council. According to a report by the Center for Security Policy, Al-Libiri supports brokering a U.S. partnership with the Muslim Brotherhood terrorist group. 2 months ago, a firestorm erupted online after Al-Libiri tweeted that a caliphate is inevitable and compared it to the European Union. Claire went into full detail, on video. It's absolutely chilling. That's all I needed to hear. Here's a more recent video in which she talks about cyberterrorism and why Trump is absolutely right. Trump discovers easy way to solve sanctuary city mess Obama left behind. There are many ways to skin a cat, and Trump, as a successful businessman, knows this more than most. One must be flexible in mind and thought to meet the demands of modern society. In business, Trump used this flexibility to excel where many before him failed. He refuses to take no for an answer, and any setback is just temporary. This, he knows, is the recipe for success from his experience pulling off incredible deals that no one else could have. I won't go into them for space considerations, but if you have not already, pick up one of his many best-selling books and you will see exactly what I am talking about. The true beauty of Trump going to Washington is that they are not used to a flexible and nimble mind like who refuses to ever give up. In the swamp, failure is rewarded. In real life it is not. He is literally running circles around them on a daily basis. And nothing needed his attention more than the immigration mess Obama left behind. Specifically the scandalous sanctuary city problem Obama made worse rather than solve. But according to Breitbart, that is all in the past now. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, executives are reallocating resources to increase enforcement efforts in uncooperative jurisdictions where criminal aliens are released back onto the streets by local jail officials. Acting ICE Director Thomas D. Homan said he is going to deploy more officers and agents to sanctuary cities to arrest illegal criminals, the Washington Examiner reported. In an interview with the Examiner, praised the focus on law enforcement from President Donald Trump, saying, "What this president has done is taken the handcuffs off of law enforcement officers who are charged with enforcing immigration laws." He said the president's focus resulted in a 70% drop of border apprehensions, leaving immigration officers to place more emphasis on interior enforcement against criminal aliens. He said his focus is now on finding criminal aliens locked up in jails, illegally working jobs, and those on the run from law enforcement. The Examiner reported that a key target is the 300-plus sanctuary cities and counties that refuse to cooperate with ICE officials on detainer requests. Director Homan blasted these jurisdictions, saying, "In the America I grew up in, cities didn't shield people who violated the law. Look, if these cities want to thumb their noses at the law, Trump is ready to do whatever it takes to keep them in line." Share this if you think this is another smart idea from President Trump.